Yes, hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Garang Konlwal with you. Yes, I am here to talk to you to discuss um, the our series of making the world a better place. So, as we always do, before I begin, I hope you guys are blessed and safe and yeah, and happy wherever you are around the world. So I'll just play the song before we begin our podcast. This is the Making the World a Better Place song. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Making the world a better place is about making yourself, your family, your community, and the entire world. Making the world a better place is about family, planning better. Oh, making the world a better place is about family, planning better. Making the world a better place is about protecting human rights and freedom. Making the world a better place is about health and safety. Making the world a better place is about peace and security. Making the world a better place is about learning and education. Making the world a better place is mentoring and coaching. Making the world a better place is about business, entrepreneurship, and employment. Making the world a better place is about environmental protection. Making the world a better place is about success and prosperity. Making the world a better place is about life and beyond. Oh, yeah, 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 life and beyond. Okay, guys. Yes, making the world a better place. It's that song. It's yeah. It's like I always say. It's a very comprehensive and conclusive vision, philosophy, idea, and yeah. I would like to ask all my fans, my viewers, my family, my friends, and influencers, wherever you are, to join with me and making the world a better place. It might not be easy, but it is possible. Yes, yeah. So today I just wanted to discuss with you the last part of the meaning of life as a part of making the world a better place. As we've said, that making the world a better place requires understanding what does it mean to live. What is life? What does it mean to live? A fulfilled, satisfied, happy, successful, prosperous life. We have said there is more than just eating, sleeping, drinking. Yeah, there is more of making a positive contribution in yourself, in your family, in your community, and the world. So when you leave, people at least remember for all the positive things that you have made, in the world. Yeah, so we have talked about, how life is really, is very important. That in order the meaning of life is to have a purpose, to have a vision, to have a plan, to have a goal that you are aspiring for, that you are living for, beyond the basic necessities of life. So, and it's not only enough to have a vision, plan, goals, objectives, but it is also important and vital to write them down and to share them along with your friend and family so that you can have a support that you needed to achieve those goals and plans as well. Because if the goal plans are enough and large enough,
that can accommodate a lot of people. And and most of the goals that we have in life, include many people. That's including marriages. Marriage include a lot of people. Businesses include a lot of people. Buying a house include a lot of people. Succeeding academically, include a lot of people, teachers, and many others. Even in sport, in music, you name it, even writing a book, invention, all these things, even of looking for a job, very stable, permanent job must include a lot of network of support, that people that can benefit from it. And that, yes, so it's very important that you share your goal with a lot of with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and everyone, so you can find the kind of support that you want. Some people can be jealous sometimes, but that is it's not encouraged. It's not encouraged, but everyone it should be free to share their goals and not be worried that actually is going to find some negative competition where people will be fighting them because they have big goals that can other people can envy. Okay. Yeah, so we talk about from the beginning, in marriage and helping families and friends, and also in career and in business entrepreneurship, and also yeah okay, and also academically, succeeding academically. People can find meaning of life in academic success and education. And today we're going to discuss another aspect, and that is where people can make a positive contribution and find meaning in life, and that is religion, spirituality, and morality. All right, let's dive in very quickly and see what does it include. So, spirituality and religion is a theological belief and view that human beings consist of spirit, soul, and body, and that people must be connected to a higher and divine being, which is God. So, spirituality and religion in general is a theological belief and view that human being consists of soul, or spirit, soul, and body, and that people must be connected to a higher and divine being. Yes, many people around the world believe in religion. They have religion, ritual, and spirituality practices that they do that connect them to a divine being, and that divine being, that God, it can differ from one group to another, and we will see later on. So morality is a sociological belief and view that distinguishes between what is good and evil, and what is right and wrong, and what is acceptable and not acceptable. So morality is a sociological belief and view that distinguishes, between what is good and evil, and what is right and wrong, what is acceptable and not acceptable in society, in community. Yeah. So, and we all, and it differ as well from one group to another group, from one community to another community, from one country to another country. So there is something that can be morally acceptable in one nation, and it can be morally unacceptable in one nation. It is very it is very surprising, but it is a reality that we are living, because we all are different in terms of race, nationality, religion, culture, and so and because of that, our morality can be different. All right. Therefore, the meaning of life can vary greatly from one individual to another, and from one group of people to another. For example, some people turn to nature, creation, and science to find meaning, which while others turn to morality, religion, and spirituality, and to the Creator, God, to find meaning for themselves. So in order for people to find meaning in life, there are some people who turn to nature, and other people turn to science, while others, turn to morality, religion, and spirituality, and that is to God and to Creator, to find meaning. So that doesn't mean that actually people who tend to enjoy nature and creation and science do not practice spirituality or do not believe in God. But it's just trying to make a point, because yes, there are some people who are scientists who do not believe in God, and there's some people who are who are scientists who believe in God. Yes, so I just try to be politically correct. So as a result, many people argue that life can only be meaningful and worth living through faith and belief in the higher power, the supreme being, and God, and adhering to good moral values and principles. So those who practice spirituality, morality, and religion oftentimes believe that life can be meaningful and worth living through faith and belief in God, in higher power, in supreme being, and adhering to good moral values and principles. Alternatively, many people in the modern society disagree with the above view, with the above group, claiming that life can only be meaningful through accumulating wealth, materialism, consumerism, while spirituality and morality are secondary aspects of life. Okay. Like I said, not everybody practices spirituality, morality, and religion in the world that we live in. So there are some people who believe purely that in order to enjoy life and to have to live a fulfilled, satisfied, happy life is to be wealthy, to accumulate wealth, and to have material wealth, and while spirituality and morality or religion in general is a secondary aspect of life. Yes. So please, I just would like to make it clear that these are purely my own opinions and my views, and I do not encourage many people to make their own decision based on this views of these ideas because they are purely personal. I'm just making assertion based on my personal experience, observation, and a little of research. So if you would like to base your opinion on these ideas, I suggest that you think carefully or twice before you make your own judgment or decision based on these ideas. And I do not hold any responsibility of your actions or decision. Okay, I just wanted to make it clear to be discharge of any. All right. Therefore, these people suggest that believing in God and oneself as a valuable human being with custodian of life and extraordinary gifts, talents, knowledge, and abilities to overcome difficult life challenges and circumstances provide long-term fulfillment and satisfaction. So those who practice spirituality, morality, and religion believe that believe in God and oneself as that human being is unique with a custodian of life and extraordinary gift, talents, knowledge, and abilities that to overcome life circumstances and provide long-term fulfillment and satisfaction. This segment of society attests that peace, happiness, and fulfillment can be obtained by conducting oneself morally and ethically and spiritually. Yes, why is it really important to practice spirituality, morality, and ethic? It is because our life is guided by a principle, it's guided by values, because the values that we hold, the principle that we hold, the belief that we hold dictate our opinions, our communication, our behavior, our actions, our decision most of the time. And when we have positive, good moral values and spiritual teachings and ethical beliefs, our opinions, our actions, communication, behavior most of the time will be positive and will be right and will be correct. And that is really, it is very important. So those who practice spirituality, morality, and religion believe that peace, happiness, fulfillment, satisfaction, and success and prosperity can only be obtained by conducting oneself spiritually, morally, and ethically. I think that's really very important. So this affirmed the research that religion, spiritual, and moral meaning of life is interpreted through the cosmic order in terms of revelation, religious experience, miracles, secret books, and deliverance of prophets and mystics of various agnostics. Jakes 2000. So there is an author who has written conducted research, and he said that religion, or spiritual and moral meaning of life is founded and interpreted through cosmetic order in terms of revelation and religious experience, miracles. Some people believe in miracles. Secret books we all know. Most religions have secret books, including the Bible. So, and deliverance of prophets, we will learn later, and mystics and various agnostics. This group of people has said that the value of practicing spirituality, morality is essential, especially the value of refraining from evil and doing good, being kind and generous, to be central to the meaning of life. So those who practice spirituality, morality, and religion, they believe that the value of refraining from evil and doing good, being kind and generous, compassionate and helpful, those are central to the meaning of life. So it's in other words, to have the value of being kind, being generous, being helpful, refraining from evil, and doing good, always can only be found, in spiritual teaching and moral doctrine, and that is, can make life meaningful. This is because churches, temples, and places of worships are designed for spiritual teachings and moral training that can help people perform goods and live a decent life and serve as positive role models in society. Yes, those who practice spirituality, morality, and religion, they tend to churches and temples and places of worship in order to be trained and to be taught spiritual, moral teaching and training, to perform good deeds, live a decent lives, and serve as positive role model in society. For instance, there are situations of hopelessness, helplessness, and despair in which a family or friends or business or money, material wealth, or even the government cannot help or rescue people. However, if a person is spiritual, who believe in God, they could pray, meditate, and God will answer their prayers and intercession by saving them or rescuing them from those helpless and hopeless situations. These include all types of difficult situations and circumstances, including natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, typhoons, tsunami, wildfire, conflict, international wars, even famine. So the benefit and the advantage of being spiritual and conducting oneself in morally, it is because in hopeless situation or helpless situation or in difficult situation where there is despair, where there is fear, where there is panic, in those situations, family, friends, businesses, material wealth, even the government will not be able to help because they are catastrophic, So if you are a spiritual person who believe in God or in a higher being, what people could do, it is to pray, to meditate, and to have faith in God that they will be able to help them and deliver them through miracles and signs. And we have stories that in the history that where God has intervened by delivering his people or saving them. The one is the story that I remember because I'm a Christian who reads the Bible, is the story of the Moses and the Red Sea, where he delivered the Israeli people when they were coming out of Egypt by parting the Red Sea. That was a miracle. That was a hopeless situation where only a supernatural being and God can deliver his people. And that is absolutely true. And it does not only stop there. Miracles still happen even to date to people who believe and have faith in God. So, like circumstances, like a situation of natural disasters, like earthquakes, floods, typhoons, tsunamis, and wildfire, even international conflict and wars and famine. You know, there's some people who have survived those circumstances, those difficult situations, and they can confess and attest that it was God that has rescued them or delivered them. Says, yes, people can carry out their daily duties and responsibilities as families, teachers, doctors, politicians, managers, lawyers, musicians, athletes, workers of any profession. But it is important for people to adhere to spiritual teachings and moral doctrines and ethical beliefs and values. For example, a politician with a strong moral principle and values will carry out their role with integrity, honesty, transparency, and accountability by making decisions that are prudent, that are responsible, that are fair, that are just. Yes. Why did I refer politician as an example? It is because our lives around the world, politicians have immense responsibility and they have immense power, because they can make decisions that actually can build the country, can bring peace, justice, fairness, equality, freedom to their citizen, to their people, because they are the people that make decisions. Politicians mainly are those who lawmakers, parliamentarians, and leaders of political parties. So they have immense power, and that's why, if our politicians have strong moral values and principle, they will be guided, their decision, their behavior, their communication, they will be guided by those moral values and principle. And we have defined that morality is a sociological beliefs and view that distinguishes between what is good and evil, what is right and wrong, and what is acceptable and not acceptable. For it is very important actually for a politician and leaders of nations, of a notable organization like the UN, to have a very strong moral and ethical beliefs and principles that guide their life and their decision, their communication, their view. And it's not only politicians, doctors even lawyers, even engineers, even teachers, and goes across to all professions, and even to ordinary citizen, from the greatest to the youngest. So it is for everyone. For instance, research has revealed that religion has played an important role in society, as reflected in the civil rights movement in the United States, the struggle against apartheid in South Africa, and the Velvet Revolution that ended communism in Eastern Europe. OSMA 2008. So you will understand how spirituality, morality, and religion is very important, because it has liberated a lot of people from oppression, from slavery, from suffering, and from destitution, from injustice. Yes, including in around the world, in United States, in South Africa, in Europe, in Asia, and in Africa as well. So, and this is because moral teachings and spiritual doctrines and moral principles and values can be used to advocate, for the freedoms and rights of individuals who are being oppressed, who are under or experiencing suffering, injustice around the world. Therefore, there are various religions, rituals, and practices that people perform to find peace, satisfaction, and fulfillment in life, because everyone is searching for the meaning of life, especially how the world came into existence. So we are talking about the meaning of life. So the meaning of life can be found in practicing spirituality, morality, and religion in order to make a positive impact in society, in community, and in the family, and in the world as well. For example, the physical and artificial world, which is created and made by humans, which include the building, the machine, the equipment, basically the modern society. So in religion, many people practice religion, spirituality, and morality as a way of finding purpose, meaning, and direction in life. And in that journey, people also trying to discover how the world was created. Until to date, is a debate between those who believe in the Big Bang theory of the evolution, that the world came into existence by the scientific revolution, and those who believe that actually there is a higher being, there is God, who created this world, and it is verified and is backed by secret books and religious books, and historical books, so it is something that it contentious issue. So there is a physical and artificial world which is created by humans. This including the buildings, the building that we see, and the machines, the equipment, all these things, the cars and all these things, this is created by men. In other words, it is through men's ability we created this world, and we made it. We made our life better. So when we talk about making the world a better place, it is into make it better, because when things are in chaos, when things are not in order, you will think of how you can make it better. When your house is full of mess, full of dirt, when your house is disorganized, or your place of work, you will try of think of strategies, of ways of how you can make it neat, tidy, organized, and conducive for you to live, to work effectively. Exactly, the world that we are in today, it is not the world that was centuries ago. The world has evolved, has changed, and all this happened through man's contribution, through great ideas. People have invented things, machines, materials, equipments that have made our life and our world better. So why would you be against making the world a better place? Because it did not just stop there. It still continue. We wanted to make it more peaceful, more happier, more safer, more prosperous. Yes, it is something that is progressive. So basically the artificial world and the physical world is the modern society that we live in. According to the study, which I said that the meaning of life is to cultivate our understanding of what is necessary and of the cosmic order, and to set goals and plans based on what we have found and understood about the natural and artificial world. So there is a natural world and the physical and the artificial world. So the natural world include humans, beings, animals, fish, plants, rivers, sea, mountains, the sky, everything that is naturally founded on this planet, on Earth. So the natural world, according to this spiritual and those who practice spirituality and religion, is created by God. There is some supreme being, supernatural being behind this natural world, like human being, so there's a difference between natural world and the artificial world and the physical world that we as human being came to create. The physical world and artificial world came from the natural world. We use the natural resources, the natural material, including agriculture, animal resources, mineral resources that we find here on Earth, and the land, in order to create our artificial world. So therefore, the religious belief and theological view that God exists, that He is the creator of the universe and the natural world, are widely accepted by many religious groups worldwide. So the natural world created by God, it is a religious belief and a theological view that God exists and that He is the creator of the universe, and it's widely accepted by many religious and spiritual groups. These include Christians, the Jews, the Muslims, and other religious groups such as Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism, and much more. So because I'm a Christian, I will define Christianity with due respect to other religious groups. So Christianity is a faith and belief based on the life, teaching, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, who is the incarnation of God, sent to offer people salvation through forgiveness of sin. Brightly et al., 2019. So Christianity is a faith and belief based on the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, who is the incarnation of God, sent to offer people salvation through forgiveness of sin. So Christianity is to believe in Jesus, that he came as the Son of God, who came 2,000 plus years ago and died and was buried and resurrected according to the Bible, and he saved the world through his death, and he gave people forgiveness of sin. So that is Christianity. If you wanted to learn more about Christianity, I suggest that you refer to the Bible. So therefore, these groups of people believe the meaning of life is summarized in the simple statement that people who live a good life, perform good deeds, will go to heaven, while those who perform evil deeds will go to hell. So many of religious groups believe that people who live a good life, perform good deeds, will go to heaven, while those who perform evil deeds will go to hell. And everyone knows and everyone understands, as we defined morality before, that morality is the sociological belief and view that distinguishes between right and wrong, between good and evil, and what is acceptable and not acceptable. All right, we will go very quick because we're running out of time. In contrast, some object to this narrative of God existence as the creator of the natural world, and instead believe in the theory of scientific evolution. Okay, so there's some people who reject the narrative of God existence as the creator of the natural world. Instead, they believe that the world came into existence through the theory of scientific evolution. This includes many atheists, agnostics, and scientists who believe that religious belief and theological view of heaven and hell are just a myth. So, as I said before, there's some people who do not believe in God and do not believe that the world, the natural world of human being, plant, animals, mountain, rivers, sea, fish, and birds and everything that is in there, and mineral resources, agricultural resources, was not created by God, and God even does not exist. So they believe that all these things came into existence through scientific evolution, referred to as the Big Bang Theory. All right, so those people, they include atheists. Atheists are the group of people who do not believe in God at all, and agnostics, and some scientists who believe that religious belief and theological view of heaven and hell are just a myth. So these people also believe that heaven does not exist and hell does not exist. You just live here. Life is just once. Once you die, that's it. It's finished. There is no second life or second death. Okay, so that's fair enough. That is their view. And it is my role here. It is just to point it out that this is something that exists. So In contrast, the meaning of life to this group of people is just to live once and enjoy the moment. So that's what I said. They believe that actually the meaning of life is just to be fulfilled, satisfied, and be happy here on earth. That's it. To do what they wanted to do, to contribute meaningfully, through their any aspect of life, and then that's it. So in other words, satisfying and meeting the needs of the physical body are very important to these people, while less emphasis and satisfying the spirit and soul, or spirituality and morality, is less important in life. So these people do not believe in practicing spirituality or morality. Okay. Yeah. So example of spiritual and moral leaders, both in the past and the present. So those I just wanted to point out, in order, maybe you are a spiritual person, maybe you are a religious leader, and I just wanted to encourage you about, that you are doing the right thing, and you are making a positive impact in life, and you have a meaningful life. So these are the example of spiritual, religious, and moral leaders who have made a positive impact and a contribution to society, both in the past and in present. So these people include people in the Old Testament Bible, such as Prophet Abraham, who Christian and Jews and Muslim believe in Abraham, because it is written in their books. It is written in Torah, in the Bible, even in the Quran as well. Moses, people also believe in Moses, as the as a Jewish leader who delivered the people of Israel out of Egypt when they came out after 400 years of slavery. So, and they include Joseph, because we read about Joseph's story and how he became the prime minister of Egypt after he was betrayed by his brothers. They include Jesus. Jesus, of course, is the is the one that Christian believe in as the Son of God, and he came to the world to give us salvation. They include the Apostle Paul. Others include the modern day church missionaries and people of good faith, such as Daniel Camboni. So Daniel Camboni is an Italian Catholic missionary who found meaning in this, dedicating his life to preaching the gospel in Africa, particularly in Sudan. So I went to Daniel Camboni's school back in Sudan, when Sudan was one country. So he's an Italian missionary who traveled to Africa in order to sacrifice his life to save Africa, So he find meaning in bringing spirituality and the gospel to Africa, and especially Sudan, that back in 1800, 19th century. So, and he came and dedicated his life to preaching the gospel in Africa, particularly in Sudan, until he died there. And to commemorate his life, to appreciate what he's done, people have established Catholic schools of his name to educate refugee children. And that's where I went to school, in Daniel Camboni school. It was a very a great opportunity to have, and that's why it is to honor his life, his legacy. It is very important to have have went to his school, and I'm just talking about him now. So you will see how important spirituality, morality, and religion is. It can make a positive impact. So others include the Pope, the Catholic leadership position held by the most powerful, faithful, devoted, and holy Catholic priest who leads the flock of the Catholic community worldwide. So other people, they include the Pope. The Pope is a spiritual leader and a Catholic leader who is appointed to the position to lead the Catholic the section of Christian who are Catholic around the world, worldwide. So it's a very important position of leadership, who is held by somebody who is faithful, devoted, and holy Catholic priests who have proven to be worthy of leading or holding that role. So the Pope, unlike other Catholic priests, have found meaning in following the path of Christ and the Apostle Paul and Peter in serving the Catholic community. So the role of the Pope, actually, it is to carry out what Jesus and the Apostle Paul and Peter have begun. So the Pope actually is in a position of Apostle Peter, whom Jesus has assigned the role of building his church. So, and that's what it is. So others also include the Mother Teresa, a Catholic nun who found purpose in helping the poor, and the Dalai Lama, we all heard about Dalai Lama, is a prominent leader of the Buddhist religion who is admired for his faith and devotion to peace and good life, and who leads a large number of Buddhist followers around the world. So we have a Mother Teresa. She's, I think she's an Indian Catholic nun who find purpose for helping the poor, in India back in the then. I can't remember exactly when, but we all know the Mother Teresa. And the Dalai Lama, so is a Buddhist religion leader who is admired for his faith and devotion for peace and good life, and leads a large number of Buddhist followers around the world. So this, I'm talking about example of people who have been known for their spirituality, morality, and religion, and found meaning in practicing religion and spirituality. Others include political, economical, social justice liberators, as well as racial equality and human and civil rights activists who sought meaning and purpose in helping and liberating their people from political, economic, and social oppression. So others also, we can refer to them as moral leaders. They are moral leaders because they have found meaning and purpose in liberating their people, their fellow community members, from political, economical, social injustice, and an advocate for their human and civil rights. So this includes figures like Mahatma Gandhi, we all heard about Mahatma Gandhi. He's a non-violence civil rights activist from India who had fought against the British, colonialism, or over India. And other people include Martin Luther King, who is African American, who advocated for civil rights for African American in the United States. Others include Nelson Mandela, who fought against apartheid policy in South Africa, and an American president, Abraham Lincoln, who actually signed the Emancipation that ended slavery in America. So Abraham Lincoln is a very important person in America. So he found meaning in ending slavery and in America for the African American and blacks. So that is very important, and I believe it is because of his spiritual, moral principle and values that motivated him and inspired him to have made that decision. Therefore, these spiritual, religious, moral leaders, political and social justice and civil rights activists are ideal role models from whom people can draw spiritual and moral principle, values, and inspiration to guide and direct them in life and make meaningful and fulfilling, and make it meaningful and fulfilling. So, okay, oh my God. So the reason I mentioned those example spiritual and moral and religious leaders who have made a positive impact, it is because to give some people encouragement and to take them as example and role model that can influence the other peoples who wanted to achieve the same goals and to find meaning and purpose in spirituality and morality and religion, and make a positive impact as well. Because yes, there's still some more to be done as well. So this is to affirm the author's claim that theology is a positive science because theological scholars provide clergy and Christian leaders with education who in turn make an important contribution to the well-being of society. Yes, theology. So many of spiritual, moral, and religious leaders that we have mentioned, many of them have studied theology, or they were guided by theological ideas and philosophy, so theology sometimes can motivate and inspire people to perform, to make a positive impact in society. So the meaning of life in religious and spiritual devotion is demonstrated in a research study conducted with a minister of religion and a church pastor participant. Okay. Therefore, I think we have come to the conclusion. So I will just go quickly. So the meaning of life, wow, thank you guys. I think it's yeah, we will stop here because yeah, and it's taking so long. Thank you for guys for listening. I hope and trust that you guys been inspired by this part 4 of the meaning of life as a part of making the world a better place series. So please give me a positive feedback so we can continue to improve and continue to make make a positive impact in the world and make the world a better place. Don't forget to share and like across your network wherever you are. Bye. Thank you.